Hi everybody, it's Kelly from Romney Ridge, and I'm putting together a little video to show you how to make the base for our Freeform felting and stitching kits. So here's the kit that I've put together, which has all the pieces that you need and the tools to make this piece, which actually does not look like I expect yours to look like, because the whole idea is it's freeform and it's just fun and simple, and you put your own elements together with it. So I'll take this out of the picture. In the kit, you have all the pieces. There's the white roving, which becomes your base. There's some hand spun yarns. Here are your felting needles and a darning needle. There's roving I've dyed, mixes of colors, little bits and pieces of hand spun yarns and yarns that are dyed sock yarn. Actually, this is some unicorn sock yarn that I use because it makes really interesting stitches to go in to be, if I put this up really close, you can see the petals on flowers, and just makes it a little different, and everybody's will be different. It will never be the same as mine, which is what makes this so much fun. So I've had a couple of folks ask me, well, how do you make that base? And the base is just done on a foam pad. So this is what you'd have to get. I get them at Joann Fabrics. It's upholstery foam, and they're 10 by 12 inches, and 2 inches thick is the best width to get. It's a little safer as far as if you get a little too crazy with the felting needles. So if you want to come and take my class, this is the tool we use to do the base, and it's a wooden needle felting tool. It holds the needles. You can put 5 needles in it and then just screw it back together. And this thing is dangerous, so you got to be really careful. If you're in your kit, you get 2 needles, and you can do this with 2 needles. You don't need to have the big dangerous tool. If you want to get really high tech, you can take a Sharpie and a bunch of felting needles and just take some packing tape and tape them on. I've used this method for many, many years. Works fine. You just have to make sure your needles are all aligned. It's a little tricky making it happen, but once you do it, it's great. You've got it. So to start the base, you've got this lump of white roving, and the trick to pulling roving apart is do not try to pull it like this. It obviously is going to be a lot stronger because these fibers are longer. So the trick is to pull your hands really far apart, and you want to make these wisps of wool, and you layer them across your foam pad like so. So you're building this layer very, very thin. See how thin this is? Like, you can see through it thin. This all goes across like this. Then fill in this side. Make sure you're overlapping the edge a little bit. And make all of these go in the same direction. Try to get it somewhat the same thickness throughout. Then come back and layer them this way, across and across like this. And so what you're now doing is creating a second layer in which you're going to felt this together. So you get enough in your kit to make one layer on the bottom and one on the top. You should have some left over in case you have gaps. So take the super dangerous tool, or your homemade tool, or your 2 felting needles that come in your kit, and hold them together and push this down. It gets really raised and fluffy. So push it down, and then starting up in one corner, you're gonna work your way across. So see how this is starting to stick? See the little holes where the needles have gone in? Then you work yourself back across. So this is beginning the felting process. These wool fibers have little tiny barbs in them that grab each other. So when you use the felting needle, which also has little barbs, it's a triangular needle, and they're cut into it. They grab onto those little fibers and pull them up and down, up and down. So that's what creates this felting without water. no water, no soap. Take it with you, go to the beach, have all your friends be envious because you're not sitting around getting sunburned without creating something. And be very, very careful because trust me, once you stab yourself with this once, you won't let it happen again. So once you've got this base layer felted down, you can see all the little holes that's kind of poked in there. You're gonna peel it off because it's gonna stick to the foam pad. So you're gonna peel it, and when you peel it, I love how the lighting makes me look so tan. You peel it back like you're grabbing it and peeling it back, okay? And then you lay it back down. So here's the side that we've worked on. Here's the other side. So you can see, which this is when it gets kind of fun because it's making its own shape. It's making its own texture. So now repeat the same process. You're gonna leave those ends sticking out. Being very careful not to poke myself. I always tell people when they take this class, there's no blood, no bleeding allowed. Then go down the sides. So if you kind of look at this, it's got a little bit of a shape forming. You've got these crazy sides. So take a look at it at this point and say, you know, what do I want this base to look like? Do you want it to be round? Do you want it to be oval? Do you want it to be kind of a odd shape? Because this is when you're going to start thinking about pulling those sides in. So now we're going to peel it again. So peel it, don't pull it. Peel, peel, peel it back. Layer it down again. Now, this is when it's starting to get felted tight. So look at how, peel this up. Look at how your ends are really loose. So just kind of grab them and pull them in. Pull them in. This won't look very pretty for a little bit, but this is again how you start getting that really unique shape to the sides. So pull ends in, wrap it in around like that. Again, peel it off. Do not pull it until you get it good and tight. Pulling your little sides in again. And I'm not going to completely finish this one because you don't need to watch me doing this for the next 3 or 4 minutes. It takes about 5 minutes to get a nice tight base. So you've gone around. Okay, so now mine is kind of telling me the shape it wants to be, which is kind of fun, I think. All right, so here's the beginning of it. You have a lot more to do, but what you're ultimately working towards is getting this nice thick layer. This one has a few spots in it that I need to touch up, which is why it's good that I have the extra. So you're working towards this shape. This one kind of came out rectangular. I have to work a little bit more on this one. You can still see the lines, but this would ultimately be the back of it. So tapping, tapping, tapping. Obviously it's going to take a little bit longer with just 2 needles. So put some good music on with a good beat and just tap. Okay, and then again, peeling. So this will end up being the front of my piece. Here's another one that I've done that's a little bit of a different shape. Put that over here. Here's the very first one I did that has this kind of big on the top, small on the bottom. I could have done it this way. I could have done it this way. It's completely up to you how you do it. No rules in this class. Here's another one I'm working on. I was hoping to work a little more on this tonight and finish it. These are my Black-Eyed Susans, little French knots. This is done with the twisting of the roving. The layers that make the grass and the layers that make the sky, they all kind of do it by themselves if you just lay them down in wisps. This one is really cool. I started this one the other day and I decided not to go any further with the background I'm doing. So I'll turn it this way because it's probably better. These are my little sheep that I'm putting in. So this meadow, this is going to be some lupin that you would see as closer to you. I don't know, this is just grass. It was pretty. The sky looks really like it did where I grew up, so it's nice and blue, and maybe the ocean is out there somewhere and has it turned up. But this is going to be my field, and here are my little sheep that are all done with curls. These are done with a single needle. You don't need to use the big guy. This is just for your base. But then after you get your pieces on, sometimes it's nice to just go over and touch it up gently where you see spots where it's kind of coming up, because ultimately I want to put this in a frame without the glass. But I like the 3D of it, and I've just got to get it all finished. Lots more that is going on this, which makes it really fun because, again, no rules. And then this one, I have no idea. It's going to tell me what it wants to be. So I hope this was helpful. Here's what the kit looks like. Here's all the goodies. My instructions are in here. There's no pictures. So I'm doing all these little videos to put up so you can jump on and say, oh, okay, I gotcha. Even though I'd much rather have you here and we could all do it together. But I get it. We're all far away sometimes and busy. So hope to see you soon. Hope that you'll take my class. This will be a class I'm having at Unwind as well. And, you know, once a week or once a month, probably once a month in the shop, I'd like to do these. They're really, really fun. No instructions to follow, just do the best you can and have a good time, because that's what it's all about. Okay, I talk way too much. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.